I am video recording.
I know.
Oh, I know, but last week you were like, please tell me you're not posting the video. Well, now I am officially posting the video.
Yeah, because last had an
I know.
itchy
There's
head or
this-
like a bump or something, so I just felt like I was just like this the whole time.
There's this one part at the end where I'm starting to cry talking about hobbies. And you're like, and it's me being tearful. And then you're over in the corner, like picking your arm.
Nice.
Not nice.
I'll try to be more PC.
It's okay. I know you were listening. I don't think you realized the camera was watching.
Yeah, not used to this whole camera thing. Like, am I supposed to look pretty?
Well, you should leave your hat on. Like,
Oh, man. All right. I need to summon the energy.
good morning
Good morning. Welcome back.
to
Riding along the waves.
how's it going?
It's good. It's good. It's Friday,
Mhm.
which is a good day.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm going to go see my folks, skip out of work a little early. Maybe,
Yeah, Ethan's in his golf attire.
maybe play some golf, help my mom out. So,
Nice.
yeah, it'll be nice.
Yeah.
Just got to get everything done before I head out of town.
I know. Thank you for making time for me.
You're welcome.
What was I going to say? Oh, when we were dropping the kids off at school this morning and we were talking about how we were going to squeeze the podcast in now, so, we could get it done for the weekend. And Ethan was like, can we just please not be so negative? Like, please, can we just try to be positive? But I don't feel like we were that negative last week.
Oh, maybe not negative, but it's just always like complaining about something in a funny way.
So do you not want to talk about Thursday night then? Or Wednesday night?
No. Let's talk about, let's recap the weekend.
Okay, well, let's talk about, okay.
Is my mic okay?
I don't know.
Was it okay last time?
Yeah, I can tell when I look away from mine. I can hear it in the...
Yeah, you kind of get distant.
Yeah, but I mean, our batting average isn't great, but at least I mean, I feel like it's
Yeah.
okay for
good.
me. Jerry rigging. I'm gonna knock on wood for that one right now, actually. Okay, let's talk about the weekend.
Okay.
I think we should briefly touch on this week because it's been a crazy week, but without getting too negative.
Okay.
But I think, unfortunately, I think people can relate to the chaotic part. And then I have some more questions. So we can do kind of like a structured parenthood topic at the end. So it's not just us like bitching and moaning.
I like it.
Have you heard that Sabrina Carpenter song?
We got to be
Slim Pickens?
efficient.
Okay, efficient. Right.
Efficient. No, I haven't. I'm sure I've heard it. I just don't know the name
It's
of
really
the song.
good.
Yeah.
Says I'll just be moaning and bitching. Okay.
Is
Anyways.
your spray tan going to get all over that chair?
I don't think my back's actually on it.
Oh, okay.
But yes, otherwise, yeah.
Yes.
Here. Okay. Well, geez. God, you're just going to call me out like that?
Spray tans look good, but they get all over everything.
I know. This morning, Ethan was like, wow, you look really good. He's like, have you been like doing something different? You look amazing. And then he was like, oh, you know what? It's probably just the spray tan. And I was like,
Right?
no, you're supposed to say it's not the spray tan.
Oh,
like, it's me.
You still looked good.
Thanks, baby.
I'm taking the hat off. I got to wear it all day.
No, but okay. That's fine.
Yeah, so this past weekend was Labor Day weekend. Last minute, we/you decided like we're going to get out of town, which that's what like everyone else is going to do. So you're looking up Airbnbs, which was sweet, but I also thought was funny because it's like you're not going to find an Airbnb that's open for Labor Day weekend.
There were actually some really cool ones.
Well, unless you want to pay like tons and tons of money.
Sorry, this microphone. So there were some cool ones because we were just going to go up Saturday, Sunday since we had our friend's birthday party Friday night. And there were a lot of cool ones that weren't even that expensive. Like maybe $300 a night, but you're getting a giant house.
Then
but,
plus the 400 in fees.
I know. Well, that's where they get you. But there's some really cool, unique ones in the mountains that are like the yurts or the ones that are like the clay houses.
Like ones on like a little like creek and stuff.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of really cool choices. But then at the end of the day, it's like, okay, so then we got to bring food. Then we got to hit the grocery store. We have to leave for all our meals or be prepared to cook.
Yeah. And then the kids, need to be entertained because there's only so much hot tubbing and running around a new place and exploring they can do before they're like, I'm bored.
Right. Yeah. So we ended up going to the Broadmoor in the Springs.
Yeah.
I shared that online too. I said we were at the Broadmoor.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So we went to the Springs. We went for 2 nights. And by the time, I was kind of watching not deals because it's such an expensive hotel, but seeing if it would like drop a little bit.
Yeah.
And they did drop a little bit like last minute. So I booked it, I think the day before.
You had to book 2 different rooms and 2 different
I know, we talked about this last week. Yeah. But we ended up not having to move rooms.
Yes, that was very nice.
And yeah, we went down and it was good.
Yeah.
In hindsight.
Overall, it was good. I feel like every time we have a trip, someone is either sick leading up to the trip,
Right.
the day before the trip, or right when we get there,
Or on the trip.
or on the trip. In this trip, our 3-year-old was throwing up
the night before.
The night before, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and
well, we were like, okay, you know what? She ate 10 fruit snacks, 2 pieces of cake, like 3 Rice Krispie treats
at the birthday party.
Yeah, snuck them when we were hanging with the adults. Like she was just going to town on the dessert table.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, so we were like, okay, maybe her tummy just hurt last night, and
whose tummy wouldn't hurt if that's all you ate?
No, totally. So we were like chalking it up to that, and we were like, let's just go to the hotel. Like we already booked it. We can't get a refund.
Yeah.
Worst case, we just hang. One of us will just hang in the hotel room with her.
Worst case,
yeah,
watch college
fancy,
football.
Yeah.
Watch movies. Chill.
Right.
The little one sleeps.
Yeah, well, that's exactly what happened when we went on vacation. Or when we went on that mountain trip earlier this year.
Yeah.
She was sick too. But anyways, so we got there and she just wasn't feeling great. I think that the first 24 hours.
Yeah, agreed.
So that kind of put a damper on things. And actually, no one was feeling great the first 24 hours because we got there and we were so excited. We took the big girl to the pool and like she was having a big breakdown over something.
Yeah, they were both just struggling. And we're like, you're at the Broadmoor pool.
Literally.
Mid-afternoon, beautiful day.
Beautiful day. Yeah.
And they just didn't really acclimate. And I think after 30 minutes, they were like done.
Right. Yeah.
Which was such a letdown.
Oh, it's just such a, what's the word? Like, not even buzzkill to do sunscreen and to get towels and to get your chairs and to get everyone ready, and then you get in the pool, so like you're wet and you're committed, and then they're like, we don't want to be here anymore, and you're like, oh my god.
So we're like, we'll delay them. We'll get milkshakes. We'll have some milkshakes, reset, go back into the pool.
But we couldn't even wait for the milkshakes.
Well, the milkshakes took forever, and then they came. One kid was like, the little one was like, I don't like those, and it's like, try it, you're gonna like it.
It's literally ice cream.
I mean, like melted ice cream. The big kid really liked it. The little kid didn't like it. And then they were still falling apart. So
they were like screaming and fighting at each other at this nice, classy hotel resort pool
where no other kids are fighting or screaming.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that later.
When do you want to talk about that?
At later.
Okay. We'll talk about that when we talk about
it. But yeah,
week.
you just you look around and it's just your kids and you're like, all right, we've been fighting this for 30 minutes and it's been up and down and it's just getting worse. Like, we're leaving.
Yeah. So we ended up trekking them home.
No, you did, because you had ordered like a $30 hamburger, and I was like,
because the 5-year-old and I were gonna split it.
Yeah, and I was like, there's no way.
She's hungry. You know,
I'm leaving a $30 hamburger.
I know. So I was like, just leave it.
I was like,
take the
no
kids.
way. So you took the kids, and I waited. I don't know. It probably took 5 minutes for the hamburger to show up.
Right.
Thankfully.
But then we went up to the room, and the girls took a nap at like 3 p.m. The little one slept
till like 6,
which is fine. We were like, fuck it. Who cares? And then when they woke up, they were so happy-ish. I mean, still insane.
Yeah,
but then
we just did we just chill in the room?
We went out on the paddle boats. Like the Broadmoor has these little boats you can take out in the lake.
Oh, did we go do the paddle boats?
Yeah, we went on the paddle boat.
Okay.
We came back.
Yeah, that was
then,
good.
Yeah, we sat on the patio. There was
paddle boat sucked. It's made for someone that's literally 5 feet tall, if not shorter.
No, I remember doing them as a kid and loving it. But yeah, as an adult,
it's
I'm
like
sure
riding
your hips were on fire.
your kid's bike with the seat all the way down. Like your knees are like coming up into your chest.
But the seat is like straight up too.
Yes.
Like the back is straight. So like you can't even like lean back into it.
It's definitely made for kids. I mean.
Yeah, I couldn't. When you stopped pedaling, I couldn't get us. I didn't have enough quad power to get us home. But then we sat on the patio so you could have a drink. And it's really beautiful. There's like a huge patio with tables and a restaurant, and then there's the big lake with the mountains right there, and then there was live music, and the girls were happy and they were dancing a little bit. They kept wanting to go buy a CD from the guy. Like it was just that was when we were like, okay,
it was much better.
Yeah, Ethan kept being like, this is so nice.
Yeah, because we just gotta sit on the patio, have a martini, have some apps. The kids were happy. They were eating, I think, snacking too a little bit.
Yeah, they snacked a little bit, and then eventually, I think it was like almost 7:30 or 8, and I was like, I'm gonna take the little one upstairs. You hung out with the 5-year-old just to get the bill and stuff, and then we just watched a movie in bed. I ordered like room service at 9 p.m. because I was hungry, so I ordered a steak at like 9 p.m. And yeah, and they slept. okay, you know, in and out of our beds, but
yeah,
overall, I think the trip turned around. Well, kind of after that. It's just so interesting. I think anyone can relate to when you try to do something fun for your kids. Like, you're excited, you have high expectations, you've spent all this time, money, resources, you're taking time off of work.
Yeah.
And your kids do not grasp
any of that.
And like, they don't give a fuck that like you spent money or you are taking PTO to do something fun for them. And that disconnect of being like, why aren't you grateful for this? But their little brains they have no clue. Like, they just don't understand.
Yeah, they just don't have any concept of time and money and work.
No, so I think it's just a constant battle of like lowering our expectations to meet them where they're at. And then when we did that night, we had such a nice time.
Yeah, it was good. And then we wanted to do a little hike because the whole time
this microphone, sorry.
The whole time the girl's like, I want to go hike the mountain, and we're like, you know, well, we're in the mountains because you're at the base of the mountains,
whatever,
foothills. Then we're like, oh, we're gonna go on a hike. So they were just so excited to hike the mountain. So we're like, all right, we'll go to the Seven Falls place. It'll be a good way to
it's like a very touristy hike.
Yeah, burn 2-3 hours. I remember as a kid, it was very simple. So we jump in the car. It's like a mile away from where we're at. So we pull up to the gate. Like it opens in like 5 minutes. We're all excited.
Right.
And the lady's like, oh, are you here for the Seven Falls hike? We're like, yeah. She's like, oh, well, we're doing offsite parking now. So just scan this little QR code and go down that way. So we're like, okay, there's probably a parking lot
around the corner,
you know. So we get driving and then you scan it and you're like, this place is 20 minutes away.
It's like 15 minutes away and the hotel was a minute in the other direction.
In our hotel. So we were like driving, we're like, let's just go back to the hotel and take
and
the free shuttle.
Not to sound like a total snob, but the way the hotel works is it's a valet. It's like one of those big hotels.
Yes, they have shuttles that will take you to certain destinations.
We waited 20 minutes for our car.
Oh yeah.
For valet, watching all the shuttles go so that we could drive there just to turn around, come back, valet the car again.
But we drove because we were going to meet some friends with their kiddos at a park. So whatever. So we drove back to the hotel, parked, got on a shuttle right away.
Back to the hike.
We're back there in like 10 minutes.
Right.
Yeah, it was just kind of crazy.
Yeah, and that was fine.
Get in, check in, get the map.
Yeah, get the map, and then it's a paved road. What is it, like a 20-minute walk?
I think
with kids, maybe 30.
I think it took us like a good 30-minute walk
uphill. If you were hoofing it as an adult, you could probably get there in 15, but
20. It's probably a mile, I'd say.
Yeah, I think it is. I think you're right, like 0.8, whatever. No one cares with kids. But it's like a paved road up. It's in between the mountains. There's a creek. It's really, really pretty. The kids were excited at first. They kind of started to slow down. In hindsight, now that we know our 3-year-old was actually sick, like,
yeah,
she was a trooper, but then she got tired at the end. Like, I feel terrible. Like, I just didn't know she was really sick. And then we, so you get there and there's these staircases from hell, right?
Yeah, there's a couple different, like, I thought when you, like, my vision as a kid of seeing Seven Falls is so different from what it was when we got there. Like, I thought at the lodge at the bottom, like, I just remember these, like, this huge waterfall and be able to see, like, all 7 falls and, like,
right.
Like, for some reason, like, recall being, like, all lit up and really pretty. I have no recollection of the stairs or anything.
Really?
I just remember this beautiful 7 waterfalls that was massive. And then you get there.
Well, they're little.
And then you see, like, 2 tiny falls right by the restaurant. And obviously you have to hike up 6 million stairs to see rest of the falls.
Are there more?
7.
Oh, I thought those were them.
No, like the bottom, I think there was like 2. I don't know. I didn't hike up. Okay, it's been a long time, but there's a bunch. I guess it's just 7 falls in sequence. Is that right? In sequence, and you have to hike up all those stairs to see them all.
In sequence, not parallel. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's your electrical engineering brain.
There you go.
Coming out. So whatever. We were like, okay, we hiked up here. The stairs are giant. Like, I can't even explain. And I didn't think I was a wuss. I didn't think I was afraid of heights. Granted, I haven't been on anything that has heights in a long time.
Yeah.
But it's just like a steep steel pair of stairs that go up. And it's just
very steep and narrow.
It's so steep and it's really narrow. And there's people going up and down them. And I think it's like 300 steps up, right? Isn't that what the sign said?
No.
To the first landing?
Oh, to the first landing. Total, it's like thousands of steps, I think.
Okay, whatever. So we get there and there's an elevator you can take instead of going up all the stairs. And we were like, oh, great, let's take the elevator up. And then we don't have to take our 3-year-old up these stairs, which I would never, ever do. Like, without a chance. Like
no, they're too steep.
They're too steep.
You got to go up
It's
and down
wet.
the same stairs.
Yeah, there's
tons
holes.
of people on them.
There's holes in between the stairs. I mean, it's not like a staircase, you know. It's like a ladder on
They
its
could have
side.
made it a little wider. Like, I don't even think 2 adults side by side.
No, you have to shimmy past. It's
Yeah.
terrifying. So we're like, we'll take the elevator up. So we take this elevator. We go into the mountain, take the elevator up. The kids are really excited. And then you come out and you're on like a landing.
Yeah, you're like immediately on like the edge of the cliff on this tiny landing. There's no warm up to a nice flat area. You just
Or like a tunnel that leads out
it's
into
like
it.
immediate like vertigo. Like, oh my God, we're 300 feet in the air. I don't even know. What
yeah,
it
on
is.
this tiny platform, and the kids just take off from the elevator,
Yeah,
running to the side of this platform where they have like they put the quarter in and look things.
yeah.
You know, whatever those are called. And both Ethan and I are like, oh my God. So I have to sprint after our 5-year-old, just being like, hey, you guys cannot run up here. Like, for the love of God, don't run up here. And I'm like looking around for Ethan to help me. Ethan's like back against the wall.
Yeah, I'm like, I just didn't even mentally prepare for it. And then like the staircase is right there because you can take a different staircase up versus the fall staircase.
Yeah, but the staircase was even like scarier.
I mean, you just look at the staircase and it's like vertical. Like if you were to fall, you would fall 50, 60, 70 feet down the stairs before you stopped. I don't even know.
No, more than that.
Yeah, it's just like this stairwell to nowhere, stairway to heaven.
Yeah, it just goes straight down. And my kids are just like running around like, Mommy, where's a quarter? I want to do this. Like, what's this over here? Oh my gosh, there's like a little gem store up there. Like, can we buy something? I'm like, no, I'm not buying you an expensive ring up here at the random jewelry store. And I looked at Ethan. Ethan is like stone cold and not even moving.
I'm like, let's go back down.
Yeah, so we have to shuffle them back into the elevator. And we get in the elevator and both Ethan and I are like, oh my God. Like, I just don't think either of us were expecting it to hit us.
No. I just thought maybe you'd get the elevator. It'd be like this big platform. You could
like a little more commercial.
Area. Like it's literally like in the side of the mountain almost. They just like built it into
like a little wood platform. Yeah.
On the side of the mountain. I don't know. I
Yeah.
didn't digest it all. I was just like, this is way too high. I didn't prepare for this mentally. I'm done.
Right. So then we came down and then the 5-year-old wanted to climb. There's like 2 different sets of steps and she wanted to climb the big set of stairs.
Yes.
So I was like, fuck. Okay, I'll take her. And then Ethan, you distract the 3-year-old.
Yeah.
So we start walking up and I make her go first so that I can be behind her, obviously, for the way up, you know?
Yeah, to that first platform.
Yeah. And I was like, we are not going past this first platform. And the way my heart just like sunk out of my entire body halfway up there, because I'm like, I'm up here with my baby.
Yeah.
And there's nothing that I can do other than continue to go up and be cool for her. And then I have to crawl my ass down these stairs.
Was it as scary when you got up to that platform as the first platform? I feel like that platform was more like it just wasn't a vertical drop off. It was more like you were at the top of the first 1 or 2 set of falls and it was kind of a flattish area. I don't know. That's
No, it was vertical drop off.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I guess you were kind of close to the falls on one side. I see what you're saying, but people were standing there, you know?
Yeah.
And so there's people standing on that platform. So there's nowhere really for our 5-year-old and me to stand.
Mm-hmm.
So we kind of like shuffle into the corner. We're looking around and I'm like, okay, like this is so cool. Like we took a little selfie together and then I'm like, now we're going to have to go back down these fucking stairs.
With, just hordes of people coming up them too.
Yeah. And that's almost the scariest part. And it's like, it just sounds so dumb because even looking at it, you're like, oh, that's not that bad. Like I could climb up that. But then I get up there, especially with my baby, and maybe I would feel different if I was up there alone.
Yeah.
But I was like, I have to keep me and her safe. Like I was in full hair on the back of my neck up. I swear I had like an extra sense, like a new sense that came to me, like some kind of like spider.
How funny.
And then I heard there was like this guy on the platform who was kind of like a gym bro. And he was, cause like, I don't know. He was
I thought it was like a worker.
No. Kind of, he was definitely like, I don't know. Maybe he had come up or down, but he was talking to an older couple and he was just like relaxed, like totally chill. I mean, this platform can only hold like 4 people.
Oh, it's that small?
Maybe 6. Oh yeah, there's only room for 2 people to sit on a little bench.
Okay.
I mean, it's tiny, and you have to walk through it to go to the next set of stairs. So like,
a lot of traffic.
Yeah. So I'm like standing with our kid, and I hear him tell the other older couple who are sitting down. He tells them like, and he's like, "Hey guys, like anxiety is not real. Like it's just." He's like, "It's not a real thing." He's like, "You're just imagining it." And I was like, "Okay." Like, thank you for telling me that. It's like I'm gonna take that with me. Anxiety is not real. Like it's just make believe.
Yeah, falling down the steps is real.
I know, for sure. Yeah, I should have told him that. But then we had to go down, and I told my 5-year-old to go behind me this time going down, right?
Yeah.
So I could be in front of her. And like, you want to hold on to both sides, but you can't do that because people are coming up. So you have to like hold on, but then you have to let go and like hold on the other side. It was just like.
I mean, I guess the good news is there's so many people on there that if you were to fall, you probably wouldn't fall very far because you'd fall into other people.
Yeah, but I don't think anyone's like prepared to catch you.
Yeah, but like if someone falls, eventually you knock over enough people that you're not all falling.
Yeah,
right?
No, that's a good point.
Eventually it's like the domino effect will stop.
Right. No, that's
like
true.
Like maybe 1 or 2 or 3 people fall over, but eventually like the masses will hold up.
Yeah. I don't know. Every 10 steps I would stop and like turn around, look at her. I'd be like, are
Was
you
she
okay?
doing good?
She was terrified on the way down.
Oh.
Yeah. She was like, that was really scary going down. So I was like, it's fine. We're just going downstairs. And I'm like crying on the inside. Whatever.
So not only were we like tired from the hike and carrying our kids, and now we were like emotionally both drained. You more than me.
I felt like I had done a shot of tequila or something. Like I felt like I was high and coming down from some sort of, I don't know, whatever. So then we had to wait for a shuttle for like 45 minutes, went back, snagged lunch with our friends, which was really nice to see them because they live in the Springs, so we don't get to see them that often. But our kids at the restaurant were fucking unhinged. Like, and we try to take them out decently enough where they understand what restaurant manners are. Like they understand that means sit in your bum in the chair.
You can't run around. You can't crawl on the ground.
Scream. Yeah. And they were like crawling under the table and like basically telling us like to screw off.
The
you know?
3-year-old did pretty good. But yeah, the 5-year-old, her friend was there when it was 5, and they kept like swinging their chairs into the table and each other's chairs, and it's like these cast iron chairs.
Well, and she was just like, yeah. I mean, it was just bad all around.
Like just amped up too.
And it was because she was tired and hungry. Like I feel like 9 times out of 10, these moments with these kids come back to they're tired and hungry.
Yep.
And that can feel like that's my fault as a parent. But then I was reading this book the other night, and it's like, okay, so let's say the tantrum happens because your kid's tired and hungry. It's like, did you offer your kid food and they said no? Okay, that's not your fault, you know?
Yeah.
It's like you tried. It is what it is. They're just hungry. It's not your fault that they're hungry, because usually I internalize that right away, you know?
Yeah, but especially if you're on vacation, what are you supposed to do? Be like, okay, well, we're going to take a 30-minute break and just, I don't know. It's like, it's hard to, if you're on vacation on the go, especially now that you have older kids where they don't nap. It's great because you don't have to base your vacation around a nap schedule, which the naps were great and nice because you'd get a nap, but it's also a pain in the ass because you're like, depending if they were real young and doing 2 naps.
Yeah, you have to be back.
Yeah, it's like, it somewhat controls your schedule. So we have that freedom now of like, hey, we can do anything. Worst case, they nap in the car.
Right.
But you're right. Like when you're on the go and you're a little bit busier, it seems like multiple times a day you're running into these scenarios where they're tired or hungry or both. And then it's just like a meltdown.
I think we just need to start planning. I know that was just a quick trip, but it felt longer because we got there like the morning of, like made use of the whole day, and we stayed late the day of checkout to like go play in the pool and stuff. But like somehow do not timeouts, but like little breaks.
Well, here's
just get better at it.
Here's the problem. We got down from Seven Falls, got in the shuttle line, first in shuttle line.
We had to wait
just
45
missed
minutes.
the shuttle. The shuttle was right there. They're like, hey, I'm full. I'm going back. I'm dropping off this crew. And the guy's like, and then I got to find a step ladder because that step's really high. And in my head, I'm like, it's a van. It's not that high.
Right.
Like, just get the van back here.
Who knows?
But
Whatever.
it's like, that's fine. So then, I mean, he's gone for 30 minutes and
It was 45. They were timing it.
or 45, and there's like 30 people there behind me. And this van probably holds legally
10.
has 10 seat belts. So finally the van shows up, and like we're front of the line because we've been here first, like in this area. We get on, but like everyone's on laps. They got maybe half the people there.
Well, there were people going to the airport.
Oh yeah, and then there are
so
people.
So we were like, oh, is there anyone going to the airport? Like, you guys get to get on first. Like, that makes sense.
Like, you don't want to miss a flight.
No, so I agree. So they didn't get like the usual 15 minutes of decompression time in the car.
Yeah. We got back and we had to rush to lunch because our friends were already like waiting for us to get seated at lunch.
Yeah, I agree. It was just chaotic.
Yeah. I think what we need to do is do better with snacks. I think
Well, I had to ditch the snack bag
Yeah.
because I thought we were going to be able to park at Seven Falls and I was going to leave it in the car. But then we had to go back to the shuttle, and I only had my bag, and I was like, I don't want to carry this. It's like a 10-pound snack bag.
It's a massive purse with a snack bag in
Yeah,
it.
but so I don't want to take this in my bag and haul it up.
You can tell we're real outdoors people. Everyone else had like their camel packs on with their water.
There were some people in jeans and flip flops.
I know, but there were people like in flip flops, which it's like, this is a mile hike up a hill. Like
I know, but we're with kids. We were in athletic gear. At least.
Yeah, I mean, we were ready to do athletics, but like I would say a good 70% of the people were like in hiking shoes or had like a hiking pack for their kids or like a fan, or they just looked like they were prepared
we should have
to hike.
We should have brought a backpack. Okay,
Yeah,
you're right.
yeah.
We should have brought a backpack. We didn't bring a backpack. We brought my purse. Okay,
We didn't really bring it. We brought kids' waters, but
yeah. So I agree. It was just chaotic, and I ended up having to carry our 5-year-old, who was getting pretty hard for me to carry. She's like 55 pounds out of the restaurant.
oh yeah,
Kicking and screaming.
yeah, consequences.
Yeah. God, if I hear you say choices and consequences one more time.
I don't know what else to say to him because
I know,
it's like
I know.
I'm gonna give. We're really trying some new parenting techniques, and so what I'm trying to do is like, here are your two choices. You can do this or you can do this, and a lot of times one of those two options has a consequence to it.
Well, no, you give them, or you say, here are the two choices. If you don't want to do either of those two choices, then there's a consequence, like that kind of thing.
Something like that. Try to like, so that when I take something away or I have to, be mean dad, like they hopefully understand that they've made the decision that has led to that.
Yeah, I agree 100%. And I think that's what, not to totally jump around, but what we've been really, really struggling with this week is just feeling like our kids don't listen to us and they think we're kind of like a joke almost,
Or they think like if we have to be parents and be stern with them or like the dogs to like get the dogs in the kennel. It's not like I'm yelling and smacking the dogs. I'm just being stern.
Right.
To like, make sure they know that they need.
Using your authoritative voice.
And they're like, you're a mean daddy. Stop yelling at the dogs. And I'm like, I'm not yelling at them.
Right.
I was like, I'm just having to use daddy voice so that they listen and know they need to come.
Right.
And
I think we really need to like disconnect from daddy voice. Like that can't be a good connotation in their head.
Yeah,
that
maybe.
They think daddy voice and they think of you being stern. You know what I mean?
I don't know. I don't want to get into it on this.
Well, okay. So
this thing.
What don't you want to get into?
I'm just trying to stay focused on positivity.
I know, but I think it's really important. And I have a TikTok video in my drafts about it, is that, and we talk about it every week. It's like, we feel like we're the only ones, like Ethan was like, we were the only ones who had to carry our kid out of that restaurant. And then we're the only ones who had to carry our kid out of the pool. And like, I just don't think we're seeing the other ones because we're so focused on ourselves and keeping our kids alive.
I don't know. I'm pretty observant anywhere I go, and I look around and kind of take it in. And I feel pretty strongly that I very rarely see other kids acting up. And I feel like it's just ours.
That can't be true though. The other day you were literally like, have we done something wrong to raise them?
I know it's not true, but
we talk about this every week. I'm sorry.
Maybe other people just don't take their kids to restaurants because they know they're 3 and 5 and they know they're just not mature enough, and there's going to be a fight and there's going to be a meltdown, and one kid's not going to eat their food and one kid will, and they're not going to enjoy their food. So all of that compounds with, oh, now I'm spending $100 or whatever it is. Maybe a lot of people are just like, it's just not worth it. But we've been trying to do this for years. And so that, that's just kind of where my thought goes, is maybe I don't see other people doing it because maybe other people
are smarter than us.
And like, why are you trying to take a 3 and 5-year-old out to a restaurant?
Because I look at it like every time we do it, I'm hoping that it's going to get a little bit better. And not even just restaurants, places in general, or like adult places.
Yeah.
And there's going to be setbacks. Like the lunch at the Broadmoor was absolutely terrible. Like that was kids screaming on the floor.
Yeah.
But I think overall the point is that you're going to trend towards the kids getting better at it and understanding at a younger age. Because I want to be able to do that stuff. I want to be able to go get a coffee in the morning with the kids on the weekend and they know how to behave in an environment. I want to be able to go to a restaurant and like have them. I think we really need to work with them on looking the waiter in the eye and ordering.
I did that when we ate last time.
Good. I think that's really important.
Yeah, with Monica, I was like, you need to tell her what you want.
Yeah, like look at in
you
the
need to
eye.
say please.
Because I'm so sick, and I hear us doing it,
You
being
need
like,
to say thank you.
"Sweetie, do you want orange juice or apple juice? Honey, orange juice, apple juice, which one? Orange juice?" And okay, she wants orange juice. Like when I was a waitress, I hated those people. I didn't hate those people. Like I get it. That was really mean of me. I didn't hate them. I understand, but it's like I think it's, it's like when you go to a new country, like you should at least try to order in the language.
You just point.
Yeah, just point. So okay, so
yes, we're gonna. There's a lot of things we're working on, and that's one of them is just them talking to other adults, them being able to order their own food, them being able to say thank you, them being able to say please.
Right. And I think we have admittedly been a little loose. My friend Cece, who's also a creator online, you met Cece when we hang out with Tyler and Derek and Jay.
Okay.
And Kelsey. She just posted about boundaries with her 3-year-old, and she's like, or maybe her kid's 4 now, but she's like, I'm gonna be honest. She's like, we have totally slacked with boundaries lately because it's just easier not to hold them because she's like, my 6-year-old is a little bit quote unquote easier, like a little easier going.
Yeah.
And she's like, we've kind of let our 3-year-old kind of just like, we haven't been holding boundaries with her because it's easier not to.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
But it's better long term to hold those boundaries. And I know that as a parent. And I think we do okay with that, like with TV turning off or like no more books tonight, like that kind of thing. But I think with other like core behavioral issues, we need to get back on the same page. And that's what we talked about a lot this weekend because we're not going to get into it. But Ethan had like a big breakdown Wednesday night.
Yeah. I'm
sorry.
Once a month breakdown where I'm just like, I'm fucking done. I'm over it.
Yeah.
I'm shutting down. I'm tapping out. Peace out.
Right. But I was like, you were just sick for 2 days. You don't get to tap out. But so I was mad at you because I was like, you were just sick for 2 days. You can't.
Day and a half.
Yeah, but you played softball the night before.
No,
so
I didn't play softball.
You golfed Monday night. Don't you dare try to gaslight me. You were at a golf league.
I know.
Here, listen to what I'm going to say.
Okay.
I'm going to say, so in the moment, I was very annoyed with you because I'm like, you have been gone for bedtimes for 2 nights, and now you're going to tap out. But I'm like, but then looking back, I'm like, well, he was sick, like, and you were still recovering, so of course your patience is going to be thinner.
Yeah, it was literally 24 hours from when I started feeling really shitty, which it was like a 24-hour bug. But even when the bug kind of passes, like it's not like you go from feeling
0 to
like
100
50% to being like, oh, I'm 100%. Like you feel like you're 100% because you're not sick anymore, but the reality is you're still like 80%. You're still tired.
Totally. So I agree. So I'm sorry. We've just had a hard week. And I think I was talking to Chandler about it, and then we can get into questions here in a minute, is that like we've had a big change in life recently. Both kids are at new schools. We have new drop off, new pickup, and all of that. And I think just that big shift has like shaken us up a little bit, even though we've kind of gotten into a habit with it. I think it's just like switched everything up. And now we're like seeing new patterns or like seeing new things that maybe we didn't notice or didn't bug us before, just because it is basically like we were put in a Yahtzee cup and like shaked up for a minute,
Yeah. Well, then for me,
people who move around all the time, I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, I don't know how like, because kids don't do well with change. No one does well with change. No one likes
even
change.
As an adult. Yeah.
Even as an adult, unless it's like obviously going from bad change to good change, but like just change to change, like no one likes change. It sucks.
Yeah. So I have 2 books that we're reading. I'm reading it, and then I'm gonna
keep reading. We're on camera. I'm like stretching my hip.
And at least you're not like doing anything inappropriate. So you can stretch your hip. I kind of cut it out so it's not just like your legs, But we're reading, obviously, Dr. Becky's Good Inside. I ordered that last night because I think, and maybe these could even be our questions, or maybe we can do these as questions next week after we read the books a little bit, is that you and I are so similar in 99% of our life, but I think we differ a little bit in parenting, right? I feel like you kind of want to be a little more authoritative. And I kind of am like, well, we need to be empathetic. But I know you want to be empathetic too. So maybe I'm making this up.
Well, I mean, I think my default personality is more like my way or the highway, right?
Yeah.
Like, no, I told you, no, you can't have that. I'm sorry. You can cry. You can complain. You can throw a fit. But no, you can't have ice cream in the morning. Where I think your way, and probably the right way, is more to be like, hey, we don't ever eat ice cream first thing in the morning. Let's have a healthy breakfast. And if you eat well, then like you said, I don't care if you have a 40-calorie tiny ice cream bar.
Right.
Like, right at the end of the world, it's not like it's a bad thing. It's just ice cream. It's taking the focus off the treat thing, but it's like talking to them about, like, let's have something healthy first. Let's eat a good breakfast. And if you do that, then I'm fine with you having ice cream. Where my initial like gut is like, no, we never have ice cream in the morning.
Right.
Why do you
Cry
think you get ice cream now?
Care.
I don't care if you cry. I don't care if you're mad. Those are the rules, which, I mean, I think that's still okay to approach it that way, but you're going to have a better outcome by sitting down with them and empathizing with them, or whatever the hell that word is.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think that's like the key to growing relationships with our kids, where they want to continue to talk to us as they get bigger, is having empathy with them.
Yeah.
Which I know we really try to validate. Like, I hear you all the time being like, you're frustrated. I know you're frustrated. But sometimes, I don't know. I don't know. I know that we're doing that step already of being like, I know that you're angry that you can't do this, or asking them. Like last night, you were like, are you angry? And they were like, yes, like screaming. And I think that's really good. I just think we need to get back more on the empathy train while holding boundaries. So like, hold the boundary and then say like, yeah, I know this really sucks that you can't have this. Like, I know, I'm sorry. It sucks big time. But this is the boundary I'm going to hold. I'm really sorry it sucks.
Yeah.
You can be mad, you know?
Which is easy when you're not super tired. You just haven't been sick. You're not worn down from the day.
At all day.
You haven't been screamed at all day. So it's like, it really comes down to patience. When you have the patience, it's easy. But like, everything that goes on, I mean, you know, they scream at you in the morning, and then you got to work all day. You're trying to do stuff at home. Something goes wrong. Someone else is screaming at you through the day. I'm screaming at you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's like just like little things are picking at you.
Yeah. It's just eroding your patience all day. And then it's like 8:30 at night, and you're trying to get them to go to bed, and they're like, you're a mean daddy. And then you're all of a sudden like,
fuck you.
Fuck you.
Yeah.
I'll show you me, dad.
I know. And I just wish we knew the magic way to like reset our patience every time we were in a new moment with them.
Yeah.
And I think that's why my big goal is wake up early. I want to start meditating. And I know it sounds kind of crazy. Do you think it's crazy?
You do you.
I think you should do it separately, not with me. I think we should do this separately, but I think we should do something like this together. I'm serious.
My main focus, and it's gotten so much better, is to get a consistent sleep schedule, because it's still so inconsistent. Like last night, the 3-year-old fell asleep in your bed because she reads some books. And so it's like, okay, if she's
like
going to read books and fall asleep, whatever. And then I pick her up, and I picked her up weird. And then she woke up, and then she was all pissed off when I put her in her bed. And then she's yelling at me. So then she's like, I want to go back in mommy and daddy's bed. And again, it's like, I'm over fighting things at bedtime. It's like, okay, go back in our bed.
Right.
And I was like, I'm going to go to bed. And then like slept like shit, because she's just on your back. She moves so much. You just have such little amount of bed space that I like basically tossed and turned till 12:30. And I was like, okay, this isn't working. So then I took her back to her bed, fell asleep, woke up she came in again middle of the night.
It was just the night where you woke up.
And then I woke up like 4:30 and tried to go back to sleep, and then like eventually got up. But it's like, so I got 4 hours of sleep last night, and you want me to get up at 5 a.m. and meditate so I only get 3 hours of sleep? Well, I could have. I was actually up, but you know what I mean.
It's
like,
I know. No, I agree, and that's why I just said online the other day, I haven't been able to wake up consistently. It's probably been a year since I've been able to wake up.
Yeah.
I used to be a early morning whore. Before kids, I was up every morning at the gym, because also I had an extreme eating disorder, but that's a different story. And then even after kids like that, once that we got back into the rhythm, like I want to wake up and have that time. I'm not a morning person, but I force myself to be, so that I can have that time.
We've gone through like cycles, and the cycles are changed by kids and how kids have impacted that. But like you said, yes, our 3-year-old has been a bad sleeper since day one, and really bad the last year or so, right? Since we moved her out of the crib.
Yeah, but I really do think, from the little research that I've done, I know we don't have much time left, is that, and we talked about this last week, like being mindful and being present in the moment and not thinking about 100 other things can really help you be less reactive.
Yeah.
Because then you can like read your kid better, and it's not like you have all these other things going on in your brain, and then your kid is the last straw.
Yeah, because then you have no patience.
Yeah, and part of practicing that, being mindful, that is a meditation practice. So like just doing a 5-minute meditation in the morning.
Yeah, good for you.
Okay, but here's another thing. I can't be the only one that's working on these things. Like, I bought these books. I swear to God, if you don't read them, I'm serious. It's not fair that I'm the one that always has to research.
I'm happy to read them, but like I said, if we're spending an hour or two getting the kids down at night and it's 9:30, 10, I don't want to be at 9:30 and 10. And the big thing, like I'm going towards, like, I'm reclaiming my evenings. Like, no more am I sitting in that room with the kid till 9:30 or 10. I'm leaving. I'll let them, if they want to play in there and be, somewhat quiet or read books till midnight, I'm like, whatever. I'm reclaiming my evenings.
I support you doing that fully, but then that's not fair completely if I'm the one that still has to be in there.
Well, you're going to reclaim them with me.
I'm fine. We've talked about this before. Last night, I went in the bedroom and I was like, girl, you can bring books in here. I'm going to be reading. You can come in here and read with me. And she did. And that's fine.
And that was
but
nice.
Then you and I aren't getting time.
And then I was watching a great football game. I don't watch a ton of sports.
Yeah,
but
that was a great game.
It was a good game, and it was the end, and no kids were screaming or crying. And I was just so happy out there on the couch being like, wow, I'm getting some, like, me time in the evening and chill, because that's the only time you get it. I mean, in the morning,
it's chaos.
You're making lunches, you're getting things ready, you're cleaning up, then the kids are up, you got to get you ready, kids ready, the work starts. I mean, it's basically chaos from the time you wake up until...
Well, it sounds like you should wake up 5 minutes early and meditate.
Well, no, I mean, no, that's the truth, right? So, the only options to get that time alone to you or for us together is before the kids get up or after they go to sleep.
Yeah, but I think you should reframe it as in, if you can have that time after they go to sleep a few times a week, that's a win, not every night. Like,
oh, I agree.
Okay,
I agree.
okay,
I mean,
it's
but it's like, it was to the point recently, last, I don't know, 2, 3, 4 months, that, like, if the kids were kind of down or you were in there and they were close and I was bouncing out, like, I wouldn't even turn on the TV in the living room, because
we didn't want them
we'd
to
be
hear
so
it.
scared
Yeah.
the kids would come out and be like, I want to watch TV. Why are you watching TV? And I didn't want to fight that battle. Or I'd turn it on and I'd have it on mute.
Yeah.
Or I just wouldn't have anything on because we just had been screamed at for an hour.
Your brain, yeah.
Yeah, but I've gotten to the point where if she comes out and be like, yes, I am watching TV. I am an adult.
That's fine.
This is my time.
That's fine. But I also need you to read these books with me.
Let's get them down at 8. I'd be happy to sit.
No. For real.
I just don't want to read books at 10 o'clock at night.
You have to find time to make time for this, because it's really important to me. And it's not fair for me to do, because this is a big chunk of our life right now that's stressing us out, is how do we discipline our kids and be on the same page consistently?
Do they have those Cliff Note books for them from, like, school? I'm kidding. I will read them.
I know that you will.
We just talked about this yesterday. We're kind of re-changing how we're approaching things, kind of revamping it. Ethan and Annalee version 72.0.
Parent version.
Yeah, parent version 72. I need you. I mean, it's not a lot. I mean, you can scan that chapter in 10 minutes, I know, but I read what you sent me, and I read it like 3 times because I don't want to just scan it. It's like reading something technical. You want to read it and be able to digest it and understand it.
Right.
And then you really need to read it again and again to start processing it, right? Because it's not like it's a fun story where you're like, you get lost in it and you...
Yeah.
It's just a different part of your brain. So,
I know,
if I just scan it, then I'm not going to take anything from it.
I know, but I feel like we differ a little bit with parenting. You're like, fuck it, I don't care. I just want to check out. And I'm like, okay, well, we need to problem solve together, because if you just check out, then it's just going to be on me. And that, like, we need to come up with a solution. Otherwise, it's never going to get better. And I think you're like, fuck it, I'm checked out. I don't care. So we just need to come back together again.
I like it. So we have limited time. Do you want to get into some questions? Because what are we at for timing?
4:40.
What are we exactly?
45.
You're like, we're in the 40-ish mark, so you got 10 more minutes. And I'm like, what are we at exactly? She's like, 49 minutes and 50 seconds. I'll give you 5 more minutes, baby. I do got to get going. So let's ask one question or two so I can wrap up some other things and head out.
Okay.
It'd be really helpful.
What?
When we wrap up, if you could pick the garden for me, that would give me some extra time. But
I will do the garden today.
Well, I want to take stuff up, so you got to do it before I leave.
So then how does that help?
Because I'll be packing my bag and other things.
What do you need from the garden?
Everything.
I'm so sick of that garden.
Cucumbers, zucchinis, and tomatoes.
I don't think we have any I think the zucchini plant's pretty toast.
Is it?
yeah, I think some animals got into it, and it's like almost bare in that garden bed.
One night, Annalie's out there with like a pitchfork, just starting to whack out the garden. She's like, "Yeah, I don't know. I think a bear."
I'm like putting squirrel feed all through it.
Yeah,
just like leaving out some raw meat for the animals to come get it.
I think it was you.
No, well, these questions are about relationships after kids. Do you have 10 minutes?
Let's just get into it a little bit. We're wasting time.
Okay. Well, these are 10 thought-provoking questions to ask your spouse about maintaining a healthy marriage after having kids.
Go. Shoot.
Well, this is pretty obvious. I mean, how do you feel our relationship has changed since having kids, and what do you miss most about our time before parenthood?
This is an easy one. Thanks for teeing it up.
What?
How have things changed? You have 90% less free time. You get 50% less sleep.
Yeah.
You get 95% time together.
Less time.
Yeah, I mean, it's just less time
obvious.
together, less time doing your things, less time for hobbies. I mean, it's just all around. It's a huge sacrifice, but I think you realize that going into having kids, but I don't think you realize the sacrifice you're going to make. And then when you go to one kid, it's actually not too bad, right? We go to one kid and you're like, actually, this isn't that bad. It's pretty easy to bounce back and forth.
Right.
I mean, obviously there's some stages where, you know, it's nice to be like, hey, we need both hands on deck. But like you look at a lot of our friends now that have one kid and are a little bit older. I mean, they're constantly just, you know,
passing them
going back and forth and it almost, you know, they have a lot more freedom. Now when you have a second kid, totally different story, because it's at this age and this stage, it's 1-on-2 sucks. It's hard.
Well, it's not even the taking care of two kids. That's easy. It's the dynamic between them.
Yeah.
If I have to keep two kids fed or take them to a park and watch them, buckle two kids in the car seat, that's fine. It's the dynamic between them and dealing with that on top of everything else.
Yeah.
But okay, let's not get too far off track if we only have a few minutes, because
next question.
We need to start doing these questions earlier. You know that?
Hey, I'm just the color commentator. You run the show.
Okay. Well, can I answer something about that?
Sure.
I think that one of the biggest changes outside of like the obvious stuff is time. Is like before we had kids, you were able, I think, to give me a lot more of like your mental space.
Yeah.
You know, to be like, if I needed more love or affection, or if I like, I don't know. I'm not thinking of a good example, but even
just like the mental, emotional
capacity to like, I want to say deal with me, but I don't think that's the right.
It's just tapped out. I mean, and this is a perfect example of it. When you start thinking about like things outside of your significant other and your kids, and really even your close family. I mean, let's start looking at extended family, or start looking at friends you used to be close with. Like a lot of times it just comes down to like, I don't have like the emotional and I don't have the capacity for those people.
Right.
Like, right. You're like, yes, I still love that person as a friend, but you're like, I just don't have the capacity to like, you know, mentally have them in my life.
Yeah. Or to check in on them,
or like check in
to
on
even
them. Schedule, right? It's just like, and maybe that's a terrible way to put it, because it's not like a mean thing, but it's just like I just don't have the capacity. Like I only have so much in my tank emotionally, physically, with time and everything. And it's like once that tank is full or fully used, however you want to say it, it's like there's no more. There's no more.
Yeah, and that's how I feel like it is now. Like I just feel like I got a lot more of your attention and love. I'm not saying it's like a bad thing. Like you don't give me attention or love anymore. Yeah. It's just crazy how different it is. I remember I used to get mad at you like Saturday mornings when you were up and vacuuming, because I just wanted to like lay around and snuggle and be lazy. You know?
Now you and the girls both get mad at me and yell at me.
No, it's just when you're vacuuming.
We can't hear the TV, Dad. And it's like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm cleaning the house.
You know what I mean.
I can't even run the dishwasher in the morning. Like, Dad, that's too loud. And I was like, girls,
okay.
I'm cleaning up your mess. Stop yelling at me.
Okay, hold on. What's one thing we can start doing together to reconnect and strengthen our bond outside of parenting roles?
I think it's just,
I mean, I know you're going to say making time for each other.
It's making time for each other. And
but that's a generic answer.
No, it's not, because it's hard to find one-on-one time together outside of before they wake up and outside of when they go to bed. Because that's not really quality time together, because we're tired, we're trying to do other things, meditate, work out, zone out on the couch and recharge. Like it's really hard in those periods to like have quality time. So we do lunch on Mondays,
which we haven't done for a few weeks.
Or we were hitting balls for a little while, like
which
that.
we haven't done for a few weeks.
Which I miss because that was our chance just like catch up, connect, talk about your work, talk about my work.
Yeah, but hitting balls at the simulator was fun because we were actually hanging out. At the driving range, we're on like two different sides. That's not really, and I'm like stressed out because can't hit the freaking ball.
Well,
and there's all these old men around me.
Winter's around the corner, so we'll get more time for lunch. So lunch, and then I don't know. We just need to try to plan more opportunities to find a babysitter, to find some family to help so we can get away for 2 hours. And
I know, but we were talking about that this morning. Your birthday's coming up, and last night I was like, what do you want to do for your birthday? And I was like, I guess we get a babysitter and go out to dinner. And you're like, I don't even want to do that.
Both of us were like, yeah.
So that we can come home. The house is a disaster. Like, how depressing is that?
Hey,
that
you come home and then you still got to get the kids to bed.
Yeah, like you're full and uncomfortable.
Yeah, you're full,
maybe
you're
a little
uncomfortable,
tipsy,
you're tired, you've had a few drinks. Like, and then it's just like, welcome back to the jungle.
Yeah, immediately.
Yeah.
And the house and the kids are crazy.
So then we talked about like, sending them to your parents' house overnight.
Right.
So then, we can go out and do that. We can watch a movie in the evening.
Yeah,
we can
come
sleep
home,
in a
sleep
little
in.
Bit.
That's the key.
That is really the key, I think, is to get like a prolonged period, like 2 hours. Lunch is great during the week, right? I really treasure that. But like on a Friday or Saturday night to get 2 hours to go out to dinner, it just doesn't really recharge my battery or your battery or really give us that opportunity to connect. It's like you blink, it's over, and you're back to real life.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I guess implementing that weekly is impossible.
We need to get back to our Monday lunches.
Well, Monday lunches for sure. But what if we even did, and I'm not saying we're going to do this, I'm more just like brainstorming with the community here.
Mm-hmm.
But like, Thursday mornings, we wake up 30 minutes early and we get to have a cup of coffee together. It's just, I don't know. It's so easy to be like, well, this is more important. That's more important. Like dishes are more important,
I would love to get up and have a cup of coffee and like turn on the news for 30 minutes.
I don't want to turn on. No. That's not watching how terrible the news is.
Turning on
that's your
turning
time.
on Aerial America.
No, that's your time. I mean, like sit and have a coffee together and not even talk about the day. Even just sit and drink coffee silently next to each other.
I think the problem with this, and that's going to go back to your meditation, is my brain will be going a million miles an hour. If I'm just sitting there with nothing to occupy my thoughts, like reading the news or listening to like Colorado Public Radio or watching the news on TV, I'm just going to sit there with my cup of coffee, and my brain's either going to run a million miles an hour, or the reality is I'm going to be like checking work emails, my calendar.
Okay, so this is not a feasible solution.
And then like I'm going to my mind will be. I mean, as soon as I wake up, my mind starts mentally preparing for the day. Like in a good way. It doesn't stress me out, but I get, because I don't think, like I try to take my life day by day. If today was Thursday, for example, and someone was like, hey, because you ask me all the time, you're like, what does your Friday schedule look like? And I'm like, I have no idea.
Yeah.
I know I have work, but when I get up at 4, 5, 6 a.m., whenever I wake up, I'll get on my phone. I'll kind of start planning out my day. I'll look at my meetings, what I have to do.
Right. So this is not a good solution.
I don't know, I can try.
What about waking up 30 minutes early to physically connect?
Like work out. Let's get physical. We used to work out so much together, and I feel like that was like, we would connect when we work out. Like,
yeah, it was fun.
Even if you're not constantly talking, it's just you're still hanging out, you're still lifting, you're still engaging.
Yeah, it's also kind of like an aphrodisiac.
Yeah.
I'm like seeing you do pull-ups. Are you kidding me?
And
that's so hot.
Remember when we thought we had it made with the
I don't even want to talk about it.
With the gym and the daycare. So I mean that's another thing that's been taken away from us. We hardly ever work out together anymore because we kind of work out when you can fit it in, like midday, weekends. It's
yeah.
So that's something we could start doing. I'd like to work out again together.
I would love to once a week. I know you have to go.
Yeah, I've already given you more than 10 minutes.
Okay. I think well, I don't want to get into it. I think there's a lot of good questions on here that I think we should actually think about and have like good answers for next week.
Okay.
And so let's revisit relationship. I know we always kind of touch on it, but like I really want to dive into some of these questions. Like, how am I meeting your emotional needs? Kind of. You know, how are we modeling healthy communication and conflict resolution for our kids? Like, I think there's a lot of, we're not.
That's what we're trying to work on.
Totally. So I think I want to give these questions a little bit more time. I really do like the concept of like bullshitting for 30 minutes and then talking about legit parenting topics for 30 minutes.
Yeah, but then we problem is we bullshit for 40, 45
I know, it was 46
minutes.
minutes. I know. Look,
And then you're like,
we goofed this time.
And then you're like, hey, you got another 30 minutes?
I know.
I'm like, no, I don't.
I know. Look, I goofed this time.
That's
but
okay.
I want anyone listening to know that that's kind of where we're going.
We're getting organized.
And maybe we can do this early next week or something. Oh, my mom wants to take the kids on Monday or Tuesday after school.
Perfect.
So let's do it then.
Tuesday softball.
Not Monday was softball.
Tuesday.
Okay, she'll take on Monday.
But yeah, let's kind of talk about that a little bit more.
Monday was softball.
I got to roll, baby. I love you.
I love
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Do I need to do garden? Okay, I'll try to go out there and pick some stuff. Anyways, thanks so much for listening. Oh, I got to pick a review winner. Hold on. If you are Demo222, please send me a DM on the Along the Waves Instagram account, and I would love to buy you a coffee. Thanks so much for listening. Please like, follow, subscribe. Please leave a review. As you can see, they are my absolute favorite. I'm trying to go through and pick reviews, like randomly pick a person every week so that I can send you a coffee just to say thank you for taking the time to leave a review, because I know that's kind of obnoxious. And we will see you next week. Bye.